Baby, I want you to know, going to the same old place, sweet home Chicago.
We're no financial institution.
Scotty, I don't even know what institution this guy comes under.
Matt Burns.
Cheers, boys.
Matt Burns.
Matty Burns. Hey, I've got to tell you right now, man, that crowd, that's the biggest crowd we've had so far, actually.
It's amazing.
Amazing
You're
crowd.
up there, mate. You're a very followed man by the looks of it.
Cockney, man. Hey, biggest crowd we've had. Welcome, Matty. Welcome.
Thank you.
Matty, we're going to just kick straight off with your mum and dad, Sue and Brian.
Yep.
Yourself born 1975.
Yep.
Let's even go further than that. Let's go straight to San Francisco. You were there in 1996 with Joe.
Yep. Joe and I went there with a couple of people. Joe played netball with Lisa Gregory. She was she played National League, and her husband was a rugby league player. Played for Canberra Raiders and Gold Coast. And we travelled with them, took 3 weeks off, went over to America, went to Florida, Vegas, and San Francisco. Now, Jace is the fittest man in the world, so he'd want to walk everywhere. He'd get up at 6 o'clock every morning. He'd wake us up with a fart, and then go for a walk, right? So we're walking around, and he's a tight ass too. So we've gone for this huge walk, and we're seeing movies for $3. I'm like, oh, that's awesome, let's go there. When the movie started, so at midday, we nicked down there, and we're going to see Glimmer Man. And I was so into the movie, so I didn't really know what was going on. But apparently there was a head job going on over here. There was a drug deal going on over here. And there was all sorts of shit.
Inside the theatre?
In the theatre. And it was huge. It was like 5 times bigger than our theatres. And all the seats are dented and everything like that, right? And we'd been shopping, so we had new tracksuits and video cameras and all sorts of shit. And we walked out of the cinema, and it was all gangsters everywhere.
Oh, shit.
And everyone stopped because we're the only white people in the whole bloody area.
Were you surprised how hilly San Francisco is?
Yeah.
It's so steep, isn't it? You know, like you get the cable car and just walking.
Because all the famous movies, you see the cars jumping and going down where the trams are and stuff. Yeah.
It is steep, man. You're talking like 30 degrees plus. It is very, very steep.
Yeah.
We probably spent most of our time on that cable car anyway. I didn't really go far from that.
I remember asking Mandy to put us on there one day, and there was a fair lineup, because it's such a big hub for people. And she said, no, we're going to walk this. And I reckon we got up to about 4 streets, and I went, Jesus Christ, girl, you're going to cop it,
Yeah.
But hey, you don't have to go far off the beat before you're into that bad spot.
Yeah, because what I want to know is, did you get out of the cinema with your new cameras and your tracksuits? That's what I want to know.
Basically, it was like walking a guard of honour. Everyone stopped and watched us walk out. And as soon as we hit the footpath, we made a sealed run, and we all just legged it down the road into like a Timberland store or something like that, into a shop. And I'm nervous now just thinking about it.
Yeah. So you were actually physically scared that something might have happened?
We were shitting our pants. All of us. That was terrifying.
What about the Grand Canyon? You drove out there.
We drove to Grand Canyon.
Did you go the long drive, the 12-hour drive, or the 4-hour drive?
Did you go to
We went to the
lake? Did you go to the
we went
Hoover
across,
Dam?
Yeah, went across Hoover Dam.
How amazing was the concrete structure like?
Yeah.
And like this sitting there, as you drive in and you drive down underneath, as you go through security, they got guns, they got everything, making sure that you're not going to pollute their water.
Oh, okay.
Because that feeds Vegas, Los Angeles. I think there's 3 or 4 towns that Hoover Dam feeds.
Yeah, it snowed when we were there as well, which was unreal.
beautiful?
Yeah. I remember on the way back we stayed at Flagstaff, and we ran out of beer, so got Joe to drive down. We got some beer and some macas, and when we come back, we've gone into the car park, and the car park was frozen. So she just hit the brakes, and she just slid basically across the car into a car park. It was almost like The Simpsons. But
The old Chevy Chase movie where they hit the thing and fall in. Yeah.
Slid straight into a car park.
Yeah.
let's keep moving forward. We've got somewhere around 2001. You went to the UK for work and travel.
Yeah.
There was a fair bit of Europe in there.
Yeah.
You also worked for the bank Bradford and Bingley.
Bradford and Bingley. Yeah, they were like a Northern England type building society, and they only had 4 branches in London. Yeah, so,
you're at the Kensington branch, weren't you?
Yeah, I started in central London, and then I started filling in at all the branches, and then they gave me the keys to the safe, and then because I was getting there earlier than everybody else, I thought, this is crazy.
Well, time out. I don't know Burnsy a lot, but they gave you the key to the safe.
Yeah, and then they made me an assistant manager at one of the branches, and the manager's mother had passed away, so she took 6 weeks off. So I was the boss for 6 weeks. I've got the keys to the safe. And it was getting near Christmas, and I was ordering money, and I was like, I'd stand in the room, and I'd have like £80,000 in my hands. And I was like, it's nuts. And yeah, it was good. It was a good job.
What about let's move on to Chicago. This one really excites me. Now, I believe you met father and son himself, Cat Stevens.
Cat Stevens. Yes.
Colorado, you met a father and son, didn't you?
I was just walking through the city and I saw these 2 guys with brand new Cubs hats on, and I was by myself. Jo decided she wanted to go to Poland instead of coming to Chicago. So
I always thought she was a real smart lady. I always just thought that.
She is. Anyway, so I befriended these 2 dudes who were on a boys' weekend, father and son, and we went to some bar, and there was a fairly good-looking Russian chick working behind the bar, and the dad spent the next 6 hours trying to get stuck into her. The son, all he was talking about was how much he missed his fiancée and he wanted to go home. And we just drank more beer than you can imagine. They were going off to go to blues bars and smoke cigars, and I was like, I'll get sick if I do that, so I'm going home.
Yeah.
Jumped on a train, fell asleep, woke up at the end of the line. So I don't know if I went up and down and back and whatever, but I think it was one of the last trains of the night. And when I got out, I was in ganglands again. And thankfully, they helped me and navigated me back.
He had 80,000 pounds.
He had 80,000 pounds around his waist.
No.
But who helped you? Who helped you out?
Some gangsters with bandanas on their heads. And they put me back on the train. Put me back on the train and sent me back. I said, like, I'm in Wrigleyville. And they're like, oh, you need to get current.
You're the wrong colour here, man. You're the wrong colour.
Yeah.
Seriously, so you... Hang on a second. Let me get it through my head. You went out drinking all night?
No, he only had 20 beers.
Only 20. And he's drinking zeros now. But so you had beers, fell asleep, went to the wrong part of town again. The locals helped you out, put you back on the train and sent you back the other way.
Yeah.
My Lord. You shouldn't be here, dude.
Yeah. This might make you laugh too. There was a day I was going to work and I only had a £20 note and the bus driver had no change and a homeless person gave me the money to catch a bus.
So you've nearly been killed twice, £80,000 and a homeless man paid you to get to work. You are a different cat.
Well, let's go to Belgium. Was there something that happened in Belgium, possibly with a tank?
Yeah, so we'd only just left Australia. We knew Joe's met these people at work going, oh, you can get cheap flights everywhere. So I think we paid like $20 to fly to Belgium. And we landed so far away. It was like, we might as well walk from bloody London to Belgium. So we catch this train. There was all
on top of the water,
old army airports and stuff. So they dropped us off and took another hour and a half to get into the city, get there, and Saturday in the central business district. So we're just walking around. There's no one, and like this is really weird. Go to the hotel, no one. We'll go out. Let's go sightseeing. So we get the map out. Oh, there's the palace and the European Union's Parliament, and we're like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. So walk down the street, and there's razor wire on the street, and we're like, it's weird, there's no one around, so we just walk around it, start going down the street, and Joe's out the front, we're taking photos of the Parliament and the palace and whatnot, and a fucking tank comes around the corner, on the footpath, the door drops down, dude jumps out with the machine gun and goes, give me your passport.
No way. In an Australian accent like that?
Yeah. Oh, French.
Just on the fucking ground, mate.
In French, man.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're not beefing this up. That a tank, guys come out, guns.
Thankfully, I had my passport on me as well, because normally I'd leave it in the hotel room.
Yeah.
All right. So I pulled it, and I'm just shitting bricks, and Joe's shitting, and I look into the tank, and there's all these other guys just sitting there with guns, and he goes to scan the passport, and then the guy goes, "Not them," and go back to me and just send us on our way.
Did you ever find out who they were looking for or what they were looking for?
Well, we went back and watched the news. There was a riot the night before in that area because the Parliament was sitting, and then they had a massive riot, and they beat the shit out of the police.
Oh,
And I thought we were involved with that. It was unreal.
So
they must have checked the date or the time we arrived.
Yeah.
They saw burns on his passport.
Yeah,
Oh, they saw burns on my passport. Then I was going on.
Yeah. So what year was that?
2004.
2001, I reckon.
Jesus.
Yeah, we flew out just after September 11, and then we were there for maybe a month, and then we went to Nice and Brussels and Switzerland, like all really back to back. It's really quick.
Serious. So you dodged 9/11. You 2 incidents in America where you could have been not killed, maybe, but robbed at least. Robbed at least. And then in Belgium, you get.
Well, in a minute we're going to Egypt. We're going to find out what happened in Egypt.
Serious?
It doesn't end.
I think I'm going to come across and touch you, mate, just for a bit of luck. I might buy a lotto ticket.
I really
tonight.
shit my pants in Egypt.
Sure. Let's hear about the Egyptian one.
Yeah, so we'd been travelling a fair bit, and I was getting a bit blasé about things. And I was like, Joe, don't worry, we don't need any money. We'll just get there, we'll get the cash out, buy the visa, get in, we'll be fine. Anyway, we get to Cairo at midnight, and all the signs in Arabic on the wall, and I'm getting a bit nervous, and we're standing in line, and we're waiting for a tour guide to meet us, and then, because we were the first people to buy a bus about tour in Egypt, or something like that. The train bus about Europe and we were the first ones, and we were the only people to buy bus about in Egypt. So it was just 2 of us, and so they take my passport off me, walk me through passport control. I go to get some cash and they take me back, and I buy the visas and whatnot. And this guy chucks us in a Tarago van at midnight. And we're driving through Cairo, and there's no one except for dudes lined along the streets with machine guns. And I am absolutely terrified, right?
Can I just do a quick time out?
Yeah.
What do you mean by bust?
Bus about.
Bus about? Yeah. What's a bus about?
So in Europe, you would go there and you buy a bus about ticket, and you just catch whatever bus you want to take you. You just go, okay, today I want to go to Barcelona.
Yeah.
And you can get a bus from Madrid to Barcelona, and then from there you get another one across the France. It's like
general one.
General bus ticket.
Yeah,
So you bought that and then chucked in a Trago, and then you're back to the machine guns.
Yeah, so they're for the new business they were using Taragos because they didn't have that many customers yet, right? Anyway, so we're driving through Cairo. I'm not kidding. Like every 5 meters, there's a dude lined up with a machine gun on the road, right? And we're coming up to a checkpoint, and I'm just sitting there like this. And the guy turns around and goes, quick, put your hands up. And and then he started laughing and goes, don't worry about it.
Oh, no way.
Dead set.
Did you slap him?
No.
Holy shit.
But we were
There
travelling.
was that much shit in his pants.
Yeah.
He couldn't move his feet.
We were travelling like 6 hours at a time or more. They were long drives between the cities. So we would start playing Uno, right?
Start playing Uno.
This guy had never seen it before, so we taught him how to play. Right? And then he beat me 26 games in a row, and I just packed the cards up and gave them to him. I just said, I don't want to see them again.
You didn't sign them?
No, don't want to see him again.
Jesus.
The reverse twos fucked him, I reckon. didn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, let's move on to 2005. You start to wind up the whole UK Europe thing and head back to Oz. It's not long that you've landed that you start to go into the Ironman series stuff.
Triathlons, man. That's crazy.
And work and everything else that goes with it. You're still doing that now, aren't you, as well? You did go pretty hard from 2005. You went to Perth.
So I raced in Busselton in Western Australia, which is 3 hours south of Perth. That was in 2007. So the way I kind of got into it was I was riding my bike to work, kept getting flat tyres. So I went into, was JT Cycles at Holden Hill at the time. Made friends with the guy there. He goes, how far are you riding each week? And I said, about 250. And he goes, you need a road bike. So I was riding a mountain
Need a
bike.
car.
Oh, you're riding a mountain bike, like an old mountain bike.
Yeah, so I bought a road bike off him. And then I was getting flatty, so I went and see him, get some tubes. And he's like, so what are you doing now? And he goes, oh, still like 250, 300 a week. He goes, come and do a triathlon with me. So I went down to West Lakes, raced a triathlon with him. He goes, come and do a half Ironman with me. So I'd done one short race, and I was doing a half Ironman like 2 months later down in Meningie, nearly drowned. That was unreal. I was saying to the lifesaver, am I like the last person in the water? And he looks back and goes, nah, there's heaps of people behind you. No, it wasn't. I was the last person.
Right.
Anyway.
So you nearly drowned.
Yeah.
He actually physically dove in, came in.
No, he was on a board next to me, but I was gone. I was totally gone.
So what's the difference between a triathlon and an Ironman, you were saying?
Distance.
Just the distance, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's like 5 different standard distances for
Yep.
for the racing. Yeah.
Let's try to wind this up. We'll go. You've been with a financial institution or thereabouts for the last 15 years or so. You're a business analyst.
Yep.
And that's created a good world for you.
Yep. Yeah, I've got a pretty good team. So Joe was saying last week about his family at work.
Yeah.
It's probably the number one reason why I still work there. Like the community there is pretty good as well. There's people that have been there for, like the building's been open for 20 years or something like that. And there's people that are still there from the day the place opened. It feeds a lot of families there. And there's some really good people there.
All right, and you've just currently finished your Bachelor of Exercise and Sports Science.
Yes. Yep.
How
science.
wonderful to do that.
That was
How wonderful.
Yeah.
So how many years was that for you to complete that?
7.
7 years.
Yeah.
That's dedication right there.
Yeah, we had a pretty good plan too to finish it. Suspected graduation was going to be in May, and then go and race the Port Macquarie Ironman the weekend after. So they moved the graduation back to December, and so kind of, and then COVID buggered up the Ironman.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm training for that still. That's on September 13th.
Oh, so you're still training? Because I've seen your little posts. I had it a bit later in my dart, but I see you go for a 25k run on a Saturday just for a bit of fun, and then you take your canoe down to West Lakes and just in the morning do 10k paddle. Yeah,
we're going to race this Adventure-thon, which was probably going to be better than Ironman. It was a 40k mountain bike race in Monado Zoo at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then in the afternoon was a 20k paddle down the River Murray, and then trail run the next day, 21k trail run. I was more disappointed that got cancelled.
Well, that would be good.
Incredible, mate.
Yeah.
Did they run you? Would they run you through the cages at Monado?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just going to be
With
open.
the lions.
You might have Joe Balzan chasing you.
Obviously,
I
the
think-
Lions would be away.
I think the scary thing is I reckon he might be able to outrun Joe. Just quietly, I think he'd be able to outrun
Just
Joe.
if he gets hold of you, like, they can-
Depends how tall he is.
All right. Well, let's move on to the more sports side now. We've had a look at where you've been around the world, and you've had a fairly good go at.
Yeah, I've
Most
been
of it,
lucky.
which is-
I've been lucky.
Lucky?
To your credit.
I've had pretty good life.
I haven't sworn tonight, but fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Ain't you lucky not dead 10 times in that first
I've got
story?
another 100 stories like that.
Oh, God.
All right. Let's move into the sport, mate.
I just want to touch on the triathlons really quick, man, because to me, I've played a little bit of sport in my life, but I've not even come close to a triathlon. So you've done the full triathlon, which is...
The distance?
Yeah, distance.
Yeah, 3.8k swim, 180k ride, and then a 42k run.
So that's full distance Ironman. That's it. That's it. You can't.
So
Can't
There is bigger.
me and Ashman have been talking about it. So how long does that take you to complete?
Between 12 and 13 hours.
Jesus.
And
That's
that's
continuous. That's just on. That's just go all that time.
Yeah, like it starts at 7 in the morning. If you don't finish by midnight, you're disqualified.
Yeah, right.
Oh, right. And that's within Australia? You haven't been over to like the Hawaii Marathon? Is that a goal maybe, the Hawaii Marathon?
No, I don't go that well in the heat, so
Yeah,
it'd be unwise for me to go there and try and have a go at that. I'd love to qualify. I'd love to be fast enough, but I'm like 4 hours too slow.
Oh,
Even
serious?
for my age group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Jesus.
the guys that race Hawaii are like 9 hours 30 for like the 40 to 45s and even 50.
Oh, at our age? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a guy from Adelaide who was world champion in every different distance of triathlon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how old is he?
He's 50.
Oh, my Lord.
So you do a triathlon, you do that 13 hours. Like me and Ash, man, we play a game of baseball, and if I pitch, I can't wipe my bum the next day. How long does it take you before you can actually,
Wipe my bum.
maybe not your bum, but before you can go back to work and just do a normal day after doing that?
Race on Sunday. I'm okay by Wednesday.
Jesus.
It depends on the conditions. When we raced in WA once, it was 39, and I kind of cooked the palate of my mouth, and I couldn't eat anything for a few days so I only had like icy poles and stuff, which was really hard because Joe's family came too, and Joe's dad drove me to all the microbreweries in Margaret River.
Oh, you couldn't drink beer.
I forced myself. Paddles. There was all sampling paddles and stuff, but it was hard.
Yeah, I just can't understand how you can do something for 13 hours like that and then be back to normal in 3 days. That's incredible.
Did you crash every 2 or 3 hours? Was it like, were you mentally good for the whole time? Like, obviously, there's a point where you
That's a
break,
great question.
where
That's a
you sort
great
of get
question.
hurt, where you think, geez, I don't know whether I can keep going, can I? Or
Because they always talk about the marathon. I always watch the Hawaii Marathon documentaries, and they always talk
Yeah.
about the wall.
After 20 miles.
The wall, yeah.
Yeah. So the first time I raced it, I don't remember anything bad, but it was a while ago, right? So that was 2007. 2011, I don't remember anything good because it was so hot. And it was like the wind changed direction on the bike, so I was just riding into it all day. I remember the after party, they're like, who wants to come back next year? And only 2 people go, yeah. And I was like, that was hell.
Yeah, yeah.
But then when I raced in Melbourne, I was 10 years older, I was 10 kilos heavier,
So what year was Melbourne?
2015.
Oh, it's just recent, yeah.
Yeah, and I was only 10 minutes slower as well.
Oh, geez.
So I was really happy with that. I ran the
A
first
minute,
25
a kilo.
Ks. Yeah.
Community killer. Good job.
Yeah. Yeah, so I ran, everyththing went well. Like I found a good person to swim behind. They just led me around the course, had a good bike leg. And then I remember getting out of the tent going, I don't want to run. And you have to run 1 kilometre the wrong way and then 1 kilometre back. And then you go onto the track. And you ran from Frankston to St Kilda.
And that was a full try, like 42K.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I remember not wanting to run. And on the way back to the start of the run again, I was like, let's just see what happens. End up running the first 25 Ks.
Fuck, I get 25K.
And then there was like this switch back up the cliff. And then I was like, I'll walk up that and then see what happens. And it was uphill again for another 3 Ks. And I was like, really struggled after that. So,
Yeah. But you've completed it, or you
yeah,
quit?
there's no quitting. No quitting.
That's incredible, mate. You guys clap for the thing, but to me, as playing sport as long as I've played, man, to do that, I'm a big man, and I could not. The mental game you must have been playing in your head that day, because as you said, you come out of that tent and you didn't want to run. It's not like you don't want to run 2K or you don't want to run 3K. You didn't want to run 42K.
Yeah, we didn't want to run for
that's
5
amazing.
hours.
Yeah,
42.
42K. That's what I'm saying. Like, people that don't understand triathlons or distance sport like that, that's
You know,
you
it's
came.
like
That's Teatree Gully to Darlington.
Yeah, that's right.
I can tell you what's worse though, is so I do it and then I don't do it for 5 years and decide I'm going to go again, and I can only run 5Ks now, or say 2 months ago when I start training again, I could only run 5Ks. I'm back up to 25, right? But the pain that you have to go through to get to that
Yeah, but
that's way harder than the actual race day.
Yeah, but that's what I was trying to say is like to come out of a tent and go, I don't want to run. I don't think I can do this run. mentally as a block, as the wall you hit,
Yeah.
and then go, okay, I'm going to try the first K.
Yeah.
And if the first K goes good, I'll do the second, third, fourth.
The guy,
That's mental. That's
well,
mental
the
strength.
guy next to me had a torn calf, and he goes, "Well, I'll see you in like 7 hours." He knew he couldn't run, but he didn't want to quit.
And you just keep going.
So he did the swim and the bike, which were fine for his calf, but he knew he couldn't run. So he just go, okay, I've got plenty of time to walk it.
Oh, that's incredible.
All right, so we'll move on to. I didn't realise this, but you had a pretty good footy career as well. Didn't realise you.
Yeah, well, I think it should have been better, but
Yeah.
It's
I'm going to get to that in a minute. But apparently, juniors came through the Norwood program,
Yeah.
under 17s and 19s out at Norwood.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you got good memories of the footy. You love the footy.
got suspended in my last game there.
Oh, there! I didn't have that on the story. We'll come back to the last game. So you played for. I can never get this word right. Onkaparinga Valley Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Apparently,
In a premiership in '94.
now I've got that down as a 17-year-old lad.
Would be 18 or 19.
Okay, we'll say 17 for the interview, just to make me look good. Yeah, 17, that's great. So what was that like as a young lad playing in an A-grade final?
That was unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Darren Visser, who played for Nord and St Kilda.
Yep.
He played for St Kilda, played one game, got 2 votes and something like that. He was a gun.
Yeah.
So him and Roger Wilson from Murray Bridge, that was like the whole field was full of guns. Ben Kemp played for Collingwood. His older brother was playing with us. We had Mark Ansberg from Sturt. We had, like, everywhere you looked, someone had played league or reserves, not massive league careers.
Yeah.
And
But if you can play in an AFL program for one game, you're a gun.
yeah, and they're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But then we're playing against them as well. Your Radler was full of them. Mount Lofty was full of them. Lobethal had the Zilla boys from the Eagles. It was like the Hills League then was pretty decent. We were drawing crowds as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But to win a premiership, that's pretty cool in that high standard of football.
yeah. Well, I remember my dad running onto the field after we won it, and he came up and kind of got me in a headlock, and he said, "You don't know how lucky you are."
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually got a really good story about your dad. Apparently there was a game you played that your dad came out and watched, and he might have said afterwards you might have had to hand your payments back that game.
Yep, that happened.
That happened?
Yeah.
Was he right?
Yeah, I was where the ball wasn't.
Yeah. So you didn't have a bad game, it's just the ball wasn't there.
Well, that's a bad game.
But apparently I've got the next game you actually come out and kicked a bag.
Then I remember the next game, because he used to give me shit about not having my socks up as well, and not having my jumper tucked in.
Yep.
And the next week we played at Nan, and I remember I was running with the flight of the ball, and I jumped, and I put my knees into this guy's chest, took a mark, played on, hit the full forward in the square, and pulled my socks up, and then to Dad,
Oh,
and he started the car up and reversed out, and
that's when you kicked the bag.
yeah, I think like, I don't know, 5 goals, 1 or something like that from flank.
That's not bad, mate.
That's not bad. And apparently you took a year off of baseball to try to go out and play for North Adelaide?
Yeah, I did a pre-season with North.
Yeah. Is that for reserves? Is that for senior football?
Yeah, for the league team.
Oh, the league team.
Yeah, I didn't make it.
Ashman's just coming back because he's just had a piss, so I'll just stand out of the way.
So that was for the league team?
Yeah, I didn't make it. They were like, there was a brotherhood in North Adelaide, and there's no way in.
Yeah. Sorry.
So I should have stayed with Nord. Like, all my mates are at Nord. I didn't know anyone. I only knew one guy from North Adelaide, and he already had 50 mates.
So what made you go out to North Adelaide that year?
Well, I grew up Barrack in North Adelaide.
Yep.
And the old man, he knew people at North and said, "You want to have a crack?" And I said, "Yeah, give me a go."
And how old was you when you went out for that trial?
That was 95. So I didn't trial. I just started training with him.
Yep.
Yeah, and I wasn't committed enough, and I wasn't confident enough in myself to succeed in that environment.
Yeah. I don't believe you didn't have the drive because you ran triathlons and stuff. It's just
Yeah, but that might be why I have the drive.
that drive from the North Adelaide experience.
Well, all of it. It's
Yeah,
like doing things half-assed for too long.
Yeah.
And that's a real good lesson for anybody, any young kids or anything like that. If you do shit half-assed in sport, you ain't going to get through. We've got kids that play
I look at it now, and I imagine my dad must have been sitting there going, "He's got it this close. Like, why can't you just grab it by the balls and go that next step?" Like,
Yeah.
and it was probably everything I did in my 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Except for baseball, where I was, I didn't grow up in a program or anything. I kind of taught myself how to play.
Yep.
And when I started playing Division 1, I wasn't a great player. I had to work my ass off just to get through a game.
yeah.
To get through the season. So I reckon it took until Canfield was the coach, so probably 97. So it was probably 6 years before I even started playing well enough to say, look, I actually belong here. And that was, I remember Joe used to throw me ground balls in the car park at T3 Plus because everywhere else was bloody wet. So we were training there all winter. She used to throw table tennis balls, so we were batting practice at home. I used to use a bat that was like this long, just ping pong balls.
Who was coaching you in '97?
Yeah, Gary Canfield. He coached us for a couple of years. Yeah.
So I've got a thing that the big premiership you won was back in. Got to try to find it. I think it was 87.
Oh yes.
Yeah, the big 87 sorry, 1986. The big premiership you won.
Unbelievable.
The big one.
Yeah.
And Danon says that was his highlight as well. So that was when you were
100%.
year 7.
Yeah.
12. You were 12.
Yeah. No, it was 1986.
1986, yeah.
1986, the
96.
Northeastern Primary School Grand Final. Danon's probably got the details. I'm going to make something up.
1986.
1986, Danon said, yeah, the big
Start
premiership.
work in
So,
86.
so I tell everyone that was Danon was pitching, and
I don't believe Dan was pitching.
it was a comebacker at his head, and he caught it to win the game.
We'll give Danon that for right now. So you started your baseball career at Norths.
Well, I played T-ball for Mowbray Primary.
Yep.
Heights didn't have a team. Then I went into the under-15s comp at Iliari, which was Northeastern Primaries. And then at under-16s, I went to Northern Districts.
Yeah.
It was either go to East Torrens or Northern Districts. And it was $135 for fees at East Torrens, and it was $35 for fees at Norths.
Wow.
Jesus.
And they gave you uniform.
Yeah.
And Mum goes,
you got
3, 6, 9, 12.
Yeah, quarter.
yeah, and
That's good.
you know, and I used to have to ride my bike down there, and then I'd get picked up by somebody, and they'd take me to the game. So
Yep.
the first game was at Southern Districts, right?
And yeah, Dylan.
Run down there, or
No. I rode my bike and locked it up against the batting tunnels at Norths, right? And this woman picks me up in a van. And
van again. It's like Egypt or Belgium.
it was probably scarier, right? And there was a dude from Div 3 in the van, and we're going to pick up the woman's husband. He worked at Strathmont, all right? And she parks the van and goes, I'll go and get him, right? And she goes, just be careful, because one of the residents here punched all the windows out in the cars last week, right? And me and this guy sitting in the back of the van, and this dude comes out with bandages on his hands, right?
Oh, no way.
And
Jesus.
this other fella, right? This other fella, he's like, oh no, and he just starts panicking, and he reaches back and gets a bat, and he's just sitting there like that, and the guy's like, lock the door. So we lock the doors, and then like this is a guy from outside the car going, unlock him. So we unlock him. Lock him. And this went on for like 15 minutes, and we were just shitting ourselves.
Baseball. So when did you come across to the Dodgers?
The year it started.
So you were the first year with the Dodgers?
Yeah, we had Div 3 and under 18s.
And so how old were you then?
16.
So you were playing
I'd been first year under 18.
under 18s?
Yeah,
Yep.
so I was playing under 18s, and then after 4 or 5 rounds, I was playing Div 3.
Yep.
So they played back to back. So I played under 18s and Div 3.
So what made you come across to the Dodgers from Norths?
Well, it was at Iliari. So
So just close to home and
well, it was like my home club. And
Where'd you start playing? What position? Did you have a
I
position?
was shortstop, pitcher, catcher.
Just everything.
Utility.
Yeah, everything.
Well, I never played outfield.
so when the
Oh, you got Maz and Nutty out there.
Yeah,
You don't
you don't have to
know
write
that.
that.
You didn't
so
have to
when
know
the Centrals and the Dodgers came together, were you part of the vote? Did you have a vote back then?
I don't recall.
You don't recall?
I couldn't even tell you what year it was. All I remember was, oh, fuck, now I have to play with Brooksy. All I remember.
Yeah.
And he used to do this meow bullshit, and I was like, man, what's this? What is this?
Yeah.
Um,
So they all
everyone
came.
knows Brooks and I are good mates. So
Yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
him.
Yeah, for sure. So that club came together,
Yeah.
and you've just excelled in that. You excelled in that club. You ended up playing Division 1 baseball.
Well, I played Div 1 from the first year of Division 1,
Yep.
so I was still in under 18s then.
Yep.
That was our second year of the club through to 2000, but I'd missed the years where Ken Kaiboshi was a coach and Phil.
So you're obviously away overseas and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I took a year off baseball to train with North.
Yep.
I played a year of Div 3 with Ringer for some reason. And there was other things going on. So I was full-time for a while, I think till Gary finished.
Yep.
And then I was kind of part-time for the next few years after that.
For sure.
So I got a bit of a story that when you were at the Adelaide Baseball Club back in. See, I reckon Dana's. I phoned Dana and got all this stuff, and he's let him know.
No, he didn't. He didn't because
1999 to 2000. Apparently, you're standing at the Adelaide Baseball Club. Yeah. Fly ball comes over the fence, side of the noggin, dropped you to the ground, and then what happened?
We had new bats, and I was just looking at them, right? And North, we didn't have Div 2. North didn't have Div 1, so North were playing. And Darren Peacock was batting, so I went to school with Peacock. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but he was huge in baseball for a while.
Yep.
Anyway, so I just hear the ping, and I look up, and the ball was like right there. Hit me.
Oh, don't tell me it hit you there, please.
JB,
And
fuck, that's a dead ringer, isn't it?
We'll get there.
It split my head open, right?
Yeah.
And I'm laying on the ground, and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck happened?
I hope this doesn't happen to my brother.
And all the
I'm going to get there. Trust me, I'm going to get there.
and all the blood was just running through my hair.
I saw it split you open.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, and the Port Power Club doctor was there because his lad played for Adelaide.
Yep.
He used to be the ruckman for West.
Yep.
Anyway, so he's patched me up, cleaned me up, and went out and played. And every inning, I had to unclick my hat one notch because the lump on my forehead was getting big. I went and got stitches after the game.
All right, so this is... we play for the X's, all of us here in the room, and the crowd behind us all play for the X's.
Yeah.
And one of my first games for the X's was when played with your brother, fly ball out, straight through, bang. One of the biggest eggs I've ever seen in my life.
Wasn't that bad. Mine wasn't that bad.
That was one of the biggest eggs I've ever seen in my life. But he couldn't get through the game, dude. So you actually got through the game and played a Division 1 baseball game?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's impressive, mate.
Yeah,
That's
you
very
probably
impressive.
don't want to look up the scorebook, but
Yeah, I've got,
JB couldn't play the game because it blocked the sun out.
Yeah.
When he turned
oh,
sideways.
I've got photos.
So it's not all his fault. Like,
I've got serious photos that when he turned around, you had to move out the way because the egg.
I don't want to.
It sounded like
I don't wanna have a shot at my brother.
3 metre pine post up against a bloody wall, mate. A concrete wall.
All I remember from the story was when he was on the bench and he goes, you know, that happens a fair bit. How do you know that? And everyone's just going, never seen
Matty,
Never seen it.
he looked at me and he said, "My nose isn't too big, is it?" And I said, "It is, mate. It's sort of growing all the way up over the top of your head."
Funny thing is, I was pitching that day, and we had a junior umpire, so the kid was probably only 15. Throwing the pitch, routine pop up. He's come
But
up.
the sun was in his eyes.
It came up, and it was serious. Like the baseball hit like the concrete floor, and it's bounced. And our first baseman, I think it was Nick Joyce, nearly caught it.
Yeah.
Right. So your brothers didn't hit the ground. You stood up, and I've gone, oh, Jesus, because the sound was sickening, dude. And the umpire's gone to me, should I call time? And I'm like, yeah, you should call time.
And an ambulance.
And we've all rushed out to him, and he's, no, I'm fine. So we finished innings. We come back in the dugout, and he's come in, and there's not much there, and all the rest of it. We go out for the next innings. He's come back in, and I remember he's sitting on the upper deck of the dugout, and he's just looked at me and goes, Scott, I think I might need some ice. And I've turned around and looked at him, and like it was huge. I'm like, no, you need to go to I want to go to hospital. And he was sitting down drinking bourbons afterwards. And every time he turned around, man, in my eyes, I just saw
He
that.
was tough. He didn't even whinge about it.
He whinged a lot.
He did not. He was that
whinged
tough.
a lot. All right, I just want to go back to apparently Oh, he's got
Put it on the
He's
camera.
got it. I'm sorry.
Show him.
We shouldn't do that. I don't know.
JB!
I don't know whether you can see that, but that was JB from. Yeah, that's. We probably shouldn't.
He's the toughest guy I know.
That's shocking. That is absolutely
He
shocking.
beats Mike Tyson, that guy. He's a fucking champion.
That is just shocking. Yeah, sorry, you should show Bernie.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah.
But to send it to him.
But then that's why I met you for the first time is when we started playing. I knew you around the club a little bit, but we started playing for the X's, the Expendables Baseball Club, which Ashman and Pete back in the crowd is organised, and Sean Dobby. Hey, if you're out there, buddy. So what did that mean to you when you came to us? What did you think when you came out to the X's?
I just thought that was like going to be my last chance to play sport with my brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it was unreal.
yeah.
I love playing X's. It's so good.
But what makes it good, mate? That's the question we try to keep on asking people. Like, we've got answers, but what do you think it makes? What makes the X's great?
Is it a culture?
Yeah.
Is the culture good?
There's a few things, right?
Yeah.
The unconditional love for each other is unbelievable. The banter, the absolute bullshit, right? The step on their necks type of crap, and the army talk and all that tough guy talk is hilarious. I just think it is the best.
Yeah, and we'll just bring the X's up while we're here. But that's exactly right, man. That's exactly how we feel. Like when we play, and it's winter baseball. It's not serious baseball. Oh, it is to us.
Yeah.
But it's
But the other thing is, right, and this is the culture which we also try and have in 4s, 5s, is you're going to make mistakes, right? And if you do, let's shake it off and just get the next ball. Let's not carry it around.
Yep.
Don't shit on each other. You don't have a
Get the
crack.
next out. That's
Yeah.
what we got to do.
Here's shit. I don't want him in my team, and that doesn't happen.
yeah.
Right? And that's, for me, that is perfect.
But I think the greatest thing about the X's, and I was there from the start and all the rest of it, is just the love for everybody that you want to play with.
Yeah, 100%.
And you get the diversity in our team is like you've got Gav. My favourite story about the X's is Gav when he tagged the fat kid. I'll tell that story. You don't know the story? Oh my
Tell
lord!
the story, mate.
All right,
Tell the story.
this shouldn't have been part of this interview, but I'll tell you the story. Gavin, there was a large portly kid on second base, and we all know Gav loves to teach. He's a great coach, and he likes to teach kid. The kid got a lead off. The pick came through. The kid fell over. He didn't just tag him. He went whoosh. And I've just lost it, dude. I've just started crying. So I made this thing up that Gav's just like teaching him and just slapped. Didn't touch him, slapped. But the kid went to the bench. We all come off. It was a third out. We all went to the bench. I see the kid put his backpack on and go. Straight after that play. So I've gone, oh, Jesus, Gav, you made the kid
Jesus,
cry.
Gav, that's
I
pretty
found,
hard.
I found out later that he had to go to work. That was he was never in. But I keep on telling Gav,
Yeah, they made a kid
You're too
quit the
hard
sport.
on the
you tapped him, you told him he was fat, and he's left the game. He's never playing again. And I lose it every day when I talk to Gav, and it's one of the funniest stories.
Well, you would have got a few words out of Gav.
Just two every time.
No, he would have brought you down, I'm sure.
All right, so I think that's about it.
Let's move on to the
come to
favourite five, eh?
The final five. So this man would have studied the shit out of this. He's got his answers
I do not
already.
believe that I
It's
don't.
written on his arm. Have a look.
There's only one question that I probably know the answer to.
He knows all the
There's
questions.
only
I was even going to try to chuck a few in there to trip him up. We'll go. All right.
no.
Best sporting memory.
See, I didn't have it. I probably spoke to someone about this week, and I don't remember it. So,
Let's make some sound while you're thinking about it.
yeah, make some sound.
Yeah. Best sporting memory.
Come on, Bernard, find it.
Well, personal one that I actually had myself.
It's all about you.
Okay.
You can't talk about anything else. It's about what you've done in sport. Your best sporting memory.
My best sporting memory is when I picked up Sienna at the finish line of Bustleton 2007, carried across the finish line.
All right, you got to explain what Bustleton is.
Bustleton was Ironman 2007, Ironman Western Australia. Back then, you used to be allowed to grab a family member out of the crowd and run down the finishing straight.
Oh, yes.
Promotional.
Was it?
Oh, it was
Is it
unreal.
still good?
Yeah, 100%.
Still there today.
So
13 hours.
she was only 2.
Oh, 13 hours of doing it.
Yep. And you could buy a video package afterwards as well. So,
Oh, you've got the footage.
yeah. Yeah, got a DVD.
That's
Got a DVD.
fantastic.
And the commentator goes, here comes Matty Burns. Check out the small packages. Something like that. Or, check out the packages pulled out of the crowd and carried across the finish line.
That's
Oh,
cool.
you're kidding. That's
sensational.
that's amazing. All right.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing sporting moment.
I've got a billion of them. Like, just
Just one.
You've got
just
one.
Just
Yeah.
one. Find the best one.
when I got knocked out one day. Got picked off. Actually,
Knocked out
no,
again.
this one.
Well, here goes. He's thinking. Yeah.
This one probably I got picked off against Glenelg one day, and I'm just tailed towards second and tried to suspect when they're going to throw the ball and try and get hit in the back. So I jumped and I just stuck my knees in the shortstop's chest and just took him out, right?
Oh.
And before I know it, everyone's on top of me like,
Oh, fight.
yeah. And
Pity you didn't get his chin.
anyway, so Russ was the umpire, and I didn't speak to him about this until Masters, when we played Masters down at West Beach. And when the change room, he goes, "Do you know you were the first person to ever throw out of a game?" And he goes, "That was the ugliest thing I ever saw, and I've not ever seen anything so bad since."
So you stood in with both knees and just.
He was standing there, and I ran and jumped knees into the guy's chest.
Oh,
Like,
Jesus.
for them, they must be thinking, what the fuck's going on? But for me, I'm thinking, if I get hit with the ball, I'm safe.
That's right. You should have said I was going to jump over the guy.
So basically, just maybe it was like the water boy, I just ran up and just jumped straight into this guy, and it was bad.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't think I've ever heard anything like that before.
I
All right, a sporting moment.
stories about myself.
I think this could be another one. A sporting moment you could take back.
This one is easy.
Oh, there you go. I like that.
When I started playing for Norths, I'd fill in the under-18s, and Dana was on first, and I hit him into a double play, and I was new, I don't know shit, right? So I've hit him into double play. He's gone in cleats up, and he's just about killed the Port Adelaide shortstop. Massive brawl, all in full going on.
Fuck, there's a bit of fighting
Yeah.
in this Burns family.
I didn't want to get out, so I stayed on first base. I didn't.
Oh, you watched it.
I didn't know, right?
Oh,
I didn't
no.
know I could leave the base. Never, I'd never ever do that again. I'll take that back tomorrow if I could.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So that's the only thing I've never had in baseball. I haven't had that all-in brawl.
I think Dana got suspended as well.
Oh, did he? That doesn't surprise me.
For a nun, he's fairly aggressive, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very aggressive and small man syndrome. All right,
I'm not
so
going there.
if
I'm
you-
not going there.
if you had to get rid of a body, 4 a.m. in the morning, you've got one phone call. Who do you call and why?
I've got like a million phone calls. Like I've got so many people I
You've
call.
got one and why?
Yeah, I call Joe,
Joe.
my wife. We've done everything. Like we've been through shit. All the shit stories I told you about travelling, she was with me. So with the army tank, she was with me. With bloody all this crazy shit we've been through, of course I'd call her.
That is a great answer, man. That is a great
I'd
answer.
imagine she'd call me as well. We've been through a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Or just
You've been in lots of
Scary.
vans, mate. You've been
Yeah.
in lots of vans. That's
scary
good.
situations. Of course,
Yeah.
we'd look after each other.
That's good.
That's a great answer. And the last one, best dodger you've ever played with. You get one.
Yeah, it's too hard.
No, it's not too hard.
You just got one.
You got one. Best dodger you've ever played with. Maybe for the first time I'll give you a 3-2-1.
Just give me 3, 2, 1.
I'll
Just
give you
give him a 2-1.
I'll give you a 3 because he's struggling. And he gave the best answer with
Yeah.
with
So,
what? So go 3-2-1.
yeah. So I'm going to say
Because we're going to cut out 3-2-1. We're
Just
just going to give you
say,
one.
just no,
Yeah.
don't give him a choice.
Oh,
Just,
I've been overruled.
Just
The
say
best dodger.
and it doesn't spread everybody. Just say
The best.
the best you think. It doesn't matter. No one's going to hold anything to it. Just
They
say
will.
who it is.
Dana.
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 Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's
I'd
right.
say Nunny.
He's dropped 2 catches in the 20 years I've played senior baseball with him.
Yeah.
He's the toughest. He's the toughest school
Yeah,
teacher
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
He is.
That's good.
He is. He's a good bloke.
He will situation hit every single time.
Yeah, yeah.
Every
He,
single time.
he,
If
he,
he's just 6
Sit back and watch him play, right?
Yeah.
That's why he bats second, because Maz is always on first, right?
Yep.
And Dana will always hit the ball behind him.
Yeah. Yeah.
always.
Good call. No, I love it.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, because
I'm
I
not surprised.
must admit, I didn't really know Danon before all the stuff, but I've actually watched a few of your games because Petey's out there and all that sort of stuff's out there, and yeah, he's a gun of a baseball player.
Yeah.
I think Dip will be upset, but Danon's a great player.
He still made it, didn't he?
Yeah, I had to chuck.
Still
I had to chuck
Still
him in
made
there. I had to chuck
Love
him
you,
in there.
Nutty. Tough guy.
Yeah, but hey, muchly appreciated, bud. I think I've really enjoyed that interview. That was a great interview. But we've got next week. We've got the big fella coming in, the old Stingray.
Thanks, Pete.
You can see him over there and all that sort of stuff. Really appreciate it, Matt. Great interview. Great.
Good.
Some of the
I love
stories I didn't expect.
This whole thing is awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks.
great interview. Great interview.
And thanks for putting it together. Like Maz's interview and Joe, it was bloody unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah, love it.
Matt Burns, you've had a good journey.
an amazing journey, man.
And
Amazing journey.
I think we're all grateful to hear all the stories, and thank you very much, mate.
Pleasure.
Yep. Fantastic. Thanks, guys, and Stingray next time.
Stingray next Friday, so get ready. What we're going to do is we're going to start rotating on a Wednesday night, and we're going to start putting the pods up at 7 o'clock. So rather than me stress Reece out on a Saturday afternoon, and we have blackouts and all the rest of the trauma, we're going to go for a safety net Wednesday 7 p.m. and the interviews will go from there. So thanks again for being with us, and thanks to the crowd for coming. Thank you, Matty. Thank you, Petey.
Take care. Thanks, Matt.